Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve Hatherley in the studio. Hello, Steve.
Hello. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me once again.
It's great to have you on Takeaway Chinese, one of my favorite podcasts. The things that you do, or let's say the scenario that you listen to podcasts, there are many, but one of my favorite scenario is to listen to it during my holidays. I enjoy a little bit of leisure listening while I'm on, for example, on transportation, because it takes a long time from the place you live to the place you visit.
Sure, and that could be a long bus ride or a long train ride or a flight or whatever, or even if you're driving in the car.
Yes, and as some people who would love to read a book in a hotel or in the place in the nature environment where they stay and rest and read a book, I would choose to rest my eyes a little bit and listen to podcasts. So it's quite an joyful and nice experience for me.
I'm the opposite because I work in radio and podcasts, and I have for a really long time. And I spend a lot of time listening to other podcasts. Number one, because I'm interested in the content, but number two, because I'm paying attention to the hosts and the guests and how they deliver and how they speak. I'm just looking for little tips and tricks and things like that.
Sure.
So when I go on vacation, I don't listen
at all.
to the radio or any podcasts at all because that's break time. That's the time where I'll pick up a book and maybe lay in the sand and just chill out and consume content in a totally different way.
We are not agreeing on when to listen to podcasts, but we've agreed that we love holidays.
Yes, and we've also agreed that we love podcasts. It's just we do it at different times.
In different ways, definitely. So when it comes to holidays, as a change of subject, one thing, since we're on Takeaway Chinese, let's learn to say holidays in Chinese first. 假期.
假期.
Perfect. So 假 carries the meaning of a leave. It's the time when you don't have to work, no matter the reason. If it's the reason that it's your annual leave, it's your 年假, annual leave, it's a 假. If it's sadly a 病假, it's a sick leave, it's still a leave. So 假 is the leave.
假 is the time when you are not going to work.
Exactly. So 假. And 期 actually is a period of time. 时期, that's a period of time. 周期, that's the period of time that repeats itself once a while. 期间, during. So 期 carries the meaning of a period.
So qi is not a reference to any particular period of time. It doesn't mean that it's short. It doesn't mean that it's long. It doesn't mean anything. It's just referencing a period of time.
Yes. So together, 假期, the time that you take your holiday, the time that you take your days off.
假期.
假期.
And you said it doesn't have to be holiday. It can be for any reason that you're not at the office. When you say 假期.
When you say 假.
Ah, okay. 假 means not going to work. It could be for any reason. But if you say 假期,
people would understand it as mostly the time that you take off because you need a little break.
Understood.
Because though technically speaking, you can use 假期 to describe a sick leave, but no people actually does that since 病假 would be the time you go to a hospital or stay in bed miserably. And my assumption is that people do not want to relate that to the time that you're having fun.
That's not a vacation at all.
It's not a vacation. Yeah. So 假期, people would use 假期 to describe the time that you have fun.
Okay. What about like not an official full-on holiday? What about the shorter times? Because sometimes in China and many countries, there'll be like a 3-day weekend or a 4-day holiday or something like that. Do you still call it 假期, or is there a different way to refer to that?
You still call it 假期. The only period of time when you're not working and you're not calling it 假期, or most people don't call it 假期, would be weekends.
Oh.
Weekends, technically speaking, is still the time that you are not going to work, that you enjoy. And if you want to refer to it as a certain kind of 假期, people would say they understand, but not many people would do it. So 假期 is 假期, whereas 周末 is weekend.
周末.
周末. 周 refers to the week, and 末 is the end. So 周末.
周末.
Yes.
Very good.
That's 假期. And 假期 is the theme of today's Takeaway Chinese.
Perfect. Let's talk about it.
For those of you who are listening, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. The first Chinese word we're about to talk about would be 假期, which is the word that we have already talked about. But since you mentioned longer holidays, shorter holidays, actually you refer to it or you describe the length of it the way you do it in English. You add the longer or shorter right in front of it. For instance, shorter holidays would be 短假期
短假期
or 短假.
短假
Because we already know 假 is already the...
right.
Yes.
That's the break.
And also there are different ways to form a Chinese word. We've established that the characters have their own relationships. Sometimes the two characters forming the word are with similar meanings. Sometimes it's two nouns putting together, like 假期, 假 being holiday, 期 being period of time, so holiday period of time. So those are two noun kind of characters, yet putting together, the meaning is more complete.
Okay.
There is also the scenario where there is a verb type of character with a noun type of character.
Okay.
Putting together, it can suggest a certain action. For instance, 休假.
休假.
休 means to rest.
Okay.
And 假 is the holiday. So I'm taking a break, taking some days off.
Okay. 休假.
休假.
So that would be to rest and then the period of time away.
Yes. And that would be a verb. 我要休假. I'd like to take some days off.
Okay. That to me implies it would be shorter than 假期.
Not really.
Doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. It's more about the nature of the words.
Okay.
假期 is a noun kind of words. So, 你有几天假期? How many days of holiday do you have? How many vacation days do you have? Whereas 我要休假, I want to take some days off. So it's the nature of the word.
Understood.
And if you want to talk about the longer and shorter, just add words to it. For instance, 短期休假, so shorter period taking days off would be a mini break or a short break, whereas 长期休假, longer period taking breaks, would be longer holidays.
长期
休假.
休假.
Yes. 长期休假 and 短期休假. Shorter holidays, longer holidays, or shorter breaks and longer breaks.
The longer ones are always better, aren't they?
I agree. Yet, the thing is, when we say 长期休假 in Chinese, it implies more than usual kind of long. Here in China, for people, we have 5-day annual leave or 10 days annual leave or 15 days annual leave, depending on how long you've been working in your lifetime.
Oh, right. So the longer you work, the more it goes up.
Yes. And if you're taking those days off, not many people would choose to use the word 长期休假 to describe those kind of days because they seem relatively normal. Yet, if this person is taking a 2-month holiday because of certain special reasons, or half a year holiday because of a certain chronic disease or sudden disease.
We call that in English an extended break.
Yes, and that people would usually use 长期休假 to describe.
I see. So 长期休假
Yes.
is longer than your average vacation.
Yes.
Even if the average vacation is 2 or 3 weeks, which is still a pretty long time.
Yes.
Understand.
Now, if you have a really long holiday, what would you choose to do?
Well, get out of wherever I am at that time. And that's no insult to wherever I am at that time. I want to be very clear about this. When I was living in Canada, if I have a longer holiday, I want to get out of Canada. When I was living in Korea, when I had a longer holiday, I want to get out of Korea.
On behalf of the place you stay, Nantaken.
Yeah, it's just because of a change of scenery,
Yes,
right? Just so
yes.
you can kind of hit the reset button and chill out a little bit. Yeah, so again, no offense to wherever I happen to be, because wherever I happen to be, that's where I'm living, and I love it that I'm living there. But it's just nice to get away from time to time, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is why a lot of people would choose to 旅游 or 旅行 during their holidays, just like Steve.
旅游,旅行.
Perfect. Those two words are mostly interchangeable. They mean to travel around. But my feeling is that 旅游 is more common. It means to go to different places, see different destinations and the sightseeings. I always feel like 旅游 is more common, whereas 旅行 suggests it's longer. And
Oh, okay.
also, it does not necessarily have to be about the places you go. It's more like the kind of state you're in. You're in a holiday mood.
Yeah.
You might go to places not according to plan, but it's only my feeling. I'm not really sure it's the feeling for all Chinese people. So if your traveling plan is destination centered, using 旅游 is definitely right. But most of the case, they're interchangeable.
What type of vacation do you like to have? People have different tastes, right? Some people prefer maybe sightseeing. I want to learn all these words in Chinese too, if you don't mind, teacher. Some people enjoy sightseeing. Some people prefer maybe a beach vacation or a hiking, mountain vacation, city vacation. What's your style?
I actually prefer a relaxing kind of a vacation, a chill out trip, if you may.
Uh-huh. Yeah, where you don't have to do 10 activities every single day and go to as many locations as you possibly can.
If I get to choose.
Yeah, that's my style too. When I'm away, I like to do one activity a day. Which is not, it sounds busy, but it's actually not that busy.
I can do two activities a day
Oh, see, that's exhausting, isn't it?
already.
I feel tired even hearing that.
Okay, depending on the places. I think I enjoy all of them. For example, sightseeing, 观光.
Guan, guang.
Yes. So go to places, seeing things. The character 观 itself carries the meaning of see things. So 观光 basically means that you want to see as many things as possible.
Oh, okay.
So you go see things, 观光. So
观光.
for the typical kind of 观光旅行, 观光旅游, we talked about 旅行 and 旅游 being traveling on trips. The typical 观光旅行 or 旅游 includes people going to different places, especially the one that you go with a tourist group. They would take you to different places with probably a bus, and they take you there. They ask you to go off the bus, traveling the place or see the place for half an hour or 2 hours, and then you come back to the bus and they take you to another destination. That is a very typical kind of 观光旅游.
观光旅游.
旅游, yes. Whereas if you are talking about going to beaches, to start with, beach is 海滩.
海滩.
People would like to see the sea. Actually, my husband is a fan of the sea. He loves beaches.
Yeah, me too.
And it does not really matter what to do on the beach.
Nope, doesn't matter. Just sit there.
And 海滩, the beach, 海 is the sea, and 滩 is the land area next to the sea.
Oh, yeah, which is the beach.
Which is the beach.
Yeah.
I'm being specific about it because not all beaches are the kind of beach in your mind that you can relax and visit, because some beach does not really have the sand. It's all about rocks.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, and 滩 also is the area actually next to a water area, because there's also 河滩. So the river bank or the area, the land area next to a river is also 滩. So I cannot really say 滩 is exactly already the beach. It has to be 海滩
滩
is the beach.
Got it. What about sightseeing to tourist attraction? How do you say tourist attractions?
旅游目的地. It's relatively complicated because if you translate 旅游目的地 directly to English, 旅游 we know is tourism, or travel. 目的地 is destination.
Oh, travel destination.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Another way to talk about or to describe different style of places to visit in my book is cultural sites. Like the city, you can have city walks and you can go to library, museums. These places would be cultural related sites, whether or not it's pop culture or history kind of culture.
Yeah.
人文景观.
人文景观.
景观 means things to see. 景 is like a scene, and 观 is the same with 观光, so a sightseeing place. And 人文, 人 is 人类 human, 文学文化文艺, so these are culture. So human-made, culture-related, that would include the places I've just listed, museums, libraries, the beautiful city centers, these places you want to go visit. That would be 人文景观, in my opinion. And also historical sites, for sure. And also 自然景观.自然景观.自然景观 would be natural sites. Beautiful mountains and rivers and these kind of places. Mountains
Scenic spots.
Scenic spots. But scenic spots, see, there are certain scenic spots that are a combination of both. It's a mountain, yet on the top of the mountain, there is a famous temple with a long history, right?
Yeah.
So all these kinds.
Yeah. No, I only need the 海滩.
It's the only thing you need, huh?
It's enough for me, really.
So that you can lie down and then read a book instead of listening to a podcast.
I was in New York City and I thought, okay, let's do something like cultural here, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it was the Museum of Natural History that we went to, and I was really kind of excited about it. And the tickets were really expensive.
Yes.
And then we went there, you know, okay.
So okay? Did you just say okay?
It's all right. You know, like it wasn't horrible, but I wasn't blown away either. So at that time, I just realized like, yep, just need the beach and that's good enough for me.
I always thought I enjoy 人文景观 a bit more, yet recently I started to realize if it's information packed, if I need to learn too much about the history, about the cultural background and the stories behind the things I'm about to see, it's a huge museum. It takes 2 days or even a week to actually finish. I don't really have what it takes to enjoy that anymore.
Yeah, and in that museum, they had this like inside a dome kind of cool like 4D lesson about the universe.
Yes.
And it made me feel so stupid because they were speaking English. You know, my wife's Korean and the vocabulary is almost impossible for English speakers. And she said, I couldn't really understand it. Can you explain that? And I said, I didn't know what they were talking about. So that was it. I said, let's get out of here and go eat some good food.
I still think it's nice to enjoy a bit of cultural and knowledgeable vacations, but let's do it at least in combinations. So do a little bit of everything.
That stuff I prefer to do when I'm in the city living. So like here in Beijing, we have all these wonderful historical sites, right? And there's so much to learn about the history of the city. So on a weekend, we will go out and go to the Forbidden City or whatever, pick from many that they have to offer here in the city. So I include to incorporate that cultural stuff into when I'm actually living in the city.
So it's not information packed on just 2 or 5 days.
Brain needs a break. Brain needs a break, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. In fact, here in China, young people, everybody, are choosing the ways that they enjoy for their holidays. There are different styles, and lucky for us, the market has all of the options that people need to offer. So everybody gets to find their favorite way to spend their holidays. And that is going to be the theme of the latter part of today's show. You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Honglin, and Steve. We'd love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's learn about how Chinese people spend their holidays. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin, joined by Steve Hatherley. Hello, Steve, again.
I mean, do you understand how the universe works? If somebody explained that to you in Chinese, would you get it?
I would like to learn a bit, like a tiny little fact that I can use in my chit-chat. But there are things that are not that scientific that are quite fun and, to be honest, quite popular in today's China. That is, learn about intangible cultural heritage from different places.
Give us some then.
Well, about China's intangible cultural heritage, the country has 44 items inscribed on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage, ranking first in the world. It also recognizes 1,500, more than 1,500 national level intangible cultural heritage items and more than 3,000 national level inheritors, which means there are a lot of things in this country that are with huge value culturally and historically. It can be a certain technique, it can be an artifact, and it has a long story behind it. And a trendy thing to do here in China these days is you go to a certain place with a little village with several people who are intangible cultural heritors. They acquire this technique and they tell you the ins and outs of it.
Oh,
you
cool.
can learn to do it with your own hands. You'll be terrible at it, but you will find it super fun.
You mean I'll be terrible at it, or
Everybody
just
would be terrible at it, not you. I'm not trying to offend you because I was terrible at it. I tried paper cutting. I can only cut like a 5-year-old girl or maybe 7-year-old boy.
Paper cutting meaning like very intricate cuts.
I could not do the intricate ones. I can only do the simple ones. But the intricate ones can be so delicate and so beautiful and also so vivid.
Yeah, I mean, they are artists, aren't they?
They are artists.
Yeah.
And in some other occasions, for instance, in my hometown, Shanxi province, we make huamo, the very beautiful different shapes of steamed bun. They can be in the shape of an animal or a specific pattern, and you also dye it with edible dye so that they look more beautiful.
Various colors.
Various colors.
Various colors, various shapes, and various fillings, I assume, too.
Oh, yes. And the huamo technique is not only famous in my home province, Shanxi province, it's also a cultural heritage in Henan province. In fact, the first intangible cultural heritage huamo competition in the place of Huojia County in Henan province was quite attractive to a lot of visitors.
A competition. Wow. So is there a big kind of competitiveness between your hometown and that province? Like, we make the better buns. No, ours are better designed. I bet there is, right?
I think secretly people would say that.
Sure.
Yet about this competition, over 30 huamo creations were showcased on the competition. In addition to the contestants' entries, the event also featured a public experience zone where visitors could knead dough-shaped figures and steam their own creations, getting a hands-on taste of the traditional folk art.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that type of food looks so gorgeous that you feel guilty about eating it. Right?
A little bit.
Because it looks like it is art. It is art.
It is art.
Yeah.
Yet not a beautiful creation or a fun cultural related creation or a souvenir does not have to be appreciated. If only they become intangible cultural heritage, they can appear on different sites as well. For instance, creative markets is also very important and attractive destinations and activities to do for travelers.
You mean like a market where you can buy all different types of foods and sometimes little artifacts or handicrafts or what have you?
Yes. For instance, in 2025 May Day holiday, there is a creative market. It's popping up at the Bell and Drum Towers here in Beijing. It brings together over 5,000 hit cultural products from more than 30 museums across China.
Oh, that's very different from the typical market I was thinking about. That's cool.
From replicas of iconic artifacts to best-selling museum products inspired by national treasures, this market is a must-visit for culture lovers. So these are creative markets. We say 市集,创意市集. 创意 means creative. 市集 is a market. This kind of market, it does not have to be permanent market or temporary market
like
or
a
pop-up market. It doesn't really have to be each kind. It can be any of those.
Sure.
It's just a market, and people love markets when they travel around. It's
Yeah.
a taste of local culture.
It sounds like a great idea because you get the experience of something you typically would have to maybe go into a museum or some sort of other type of building to experience. But here you get that kind of outdoor walking around your typical market experience. So combining the best of both worlds.
And the one that I would very much love would be the chill out trips.
The chill out trips.
And we have a name for it, 躺平旅行.
躺平旅行.
躺平 means lie down flat. It means you don't try. You don't try that hard. You're just lying there. You don't need the strength to even pull yourself up from the bed.
Oh, okay. So 躺平 is reserved for weekends or vacations.
Yes.
Not at the office or at school.
No, don't do that. Not recommended.
Right.
Here in China, many people would choose to have a staycation, for instance.
Oh, a staycation. How do you say staycation?
You can say 在家度假 or 宅度假. 宅 means stay at home. Some people would say 我很宅. It means I stay at my home a lot. I don't like to go out and social and do stuff. I just want to stay at home.
Okay.
宅. And 在家度假. 在家 is literally stay at home. So I think if we're looking for a name, then 宅度假
宅度假
would be staycation. And there are specific ways to chill out trips. Okay, so if you're staying at home and you're having a staycation, that's relatively common. Many people do that. Yet, if you go to a very nice hotel, probably with a beautiful beach at the backyard of the hotel, and you stay there, it's also a 躺平旅行. It's also a chill out vacation. You go to the place, yet you don't do much.
Hotel is 酒店.
酒店.
Yeah, I would agree with that partly. For me, staycation has always implied that I'm taking a vacation in the city
Yes.
that I'm living, right?
Yes, it's the same here in Chinese.
Yeah.
It's 宅旅行, staycation, whereas chill out trips would be 躺平旅行. So the chill out ones, it can be super chill out, like I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying at home. It can be relatively chill out. I go to a different city, but I stay in the hotel.
Understand.
It can be chill out, but I go with the flow. I visit place when I want to. When I'm in the mood, I go to a certain destination. But if on the way to the destination, I change my mind, then I'll go to wherever my foot takes me. So it's like go with the flow kind of vacation. So there are different types of 躺平旅行.
How do you say itinerary?
Itinerary, 日程.
日程.
日 meaning days, and 程 is the things that you do or the items on the itinerary. 日程.
日程.
Or in Chinese, I think we've shared on Takeaway Chinese before. We talked about 攻略, 旅行攻略. So the game tips, originally it means the strategy to play in a game, the tips to the tricks to win certain boss, win the fight of certain boss. And people use it to talk about 旅行攻略 as well. And 攻略 definitely does not belong to 躺平旅行, because if you make the effort to make a plan, then the plan is not chill out.
Defeats the purpose. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
So 躺平旅行. Again, here in China, we are having more and more holidays. We have longer national holidays. These years, we have annual leaves. Everybody has annual leaves. And people are spending their holidays in different ways.
Yeah.
And as long as it makes you feel like life is a beautiful thing you need to cherish, it's a good holiday.
Doesn't matter what style you do. If it makes you feel re-energized, then it is a great vacation.
Yes, and wish everybody gets to have a great vacation once a while. That brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and a 5-star rating. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
谢谢, thank you, and see you next time.